My phone glows at 3 a.m. in my Tokyo hotel room, Lucas's name flashing on the screen. Strange, he never calls during my business trips. My stomach tightens as I answer. Hey, I want a divorce, he says casually like he's ordering takeout. I sit up straight, suddenly wide awake despite the jet lag. The city lights twinkle outside my window, oddly peaceful against the chaos erupting in my mind. What do you mean? My voice remains steady, surprising even me. In the silence that follows, I hear a woman's muffled giggle in the background. Lucas lets out a bitter laugh. You probably haven't noticed, but I have someone else now. She's younger, prettier, and we have a child together. He pauses, clearly waiting for me to break down. I've already sold the house and car. I grip my phone tighter, a smile spreading across my face. Poor Lucas. He has no idea about the divorce papers waiting in our living room drawer, or that I've been documenting his affair for months. He doesn't know that the house and car are in my name, or that I'm about to destroy everything he holds dear. Okay, I reply softly, already imagining his confused expression. Good night, Lucas. I'm Jenna Chen, 35, and until recently, I was living what seemed like a perfect life. By day, I'm a senior project manager at Global Dynamics, coordinating million-dollar deals between continents. By night, I'm, or was, wife to a man who turned out to be as substantial as a social media filter. The irony doesn't escape me. I can negotiate complex international contracts in 3 languages, but somehow miss the red flags in my marriage. Perhaps that's because I spent so many years focused on building my career, determined to become the kind of professional my immigrant parents could brag about to their friends. My love affair with international business started in middle school, when I became obsessed with learning Italian. Most kids my age were trading Pokémon cards. I was trading language lessons with my Italian pen pal. That passion carried me through high school, where I spent a year with a host family in Rome, and then to business school, where I graduated top of my class. Landing a job at Global Dynamics felt like winning the lottery. The hours were brutal, and the learning curve was steep, but I thrived on the challenge. My colleagues started calling me the closer because I had a knack for sealing deals that seemed impossible. What they didn't know was that I went home every night to my collection of stuffed animals and spent weekends at cat cafes, finding comfort in their simple affection. I met Lucas at my friend Sarah's wedding, where I was hiding at the bar, scrolling through work emails and trying to ignore the pitying looks from relatives who wondered why I was still single at 31. He approached with a gentle smile and a smooth voice that would later become his trademark on his gaming streams. 3 years younger than me, working sales at a small company, he seemed refreshingly uncomplicated. You look like you'd rather be anywhere else, he said, sliding onto the bar stool next to me. I laughed, letting my guard down. Is it that obvious? Our courtship was a whirlwind of cute texts, surprise lunch visits, and weekend getaways. Lucas wasn't ambitious like the men I usually met through work, but his seeming sweetness and admiration for my success were intoxicating. When he proposed after 18 months of dating, I said yes without hesitation, ignoring my sister's warning, just don't spoil him too much, okay? I bought us a spacious condo in a prime location, thinking we'd grow into it together. Instead, I watched as Lucas grew into someone else entirely, from a supposedly caring partner to a man who saw me as nothing more than a convenient ATM and housekeeper. The transformation was so gradual that I almost didn't notice it happening. Almost. But that's the thing about being the closer, you learn to keep documentation of everything. And while Lucas was building his streaming empire and sneaking around with his mistress, I was building something too, an escape plan. After hanging up on Lucas, my hands began to shake. Not from sadness or fear, but from pure, uncontrolled rage. The sleek Tokyo skyline blurs through my 20th floor window as I pace the hotel room, my bare feet silent against the plush carpet. My throat burns with unshed tears, not for the marriage I'm losing, but for the years I've wasted. I pull out my laptop and check my email. Right on schedule, my private investigator has sent his weekly update. The footage from my car's dash cam shows Lucas driving Miriam, his very pregnant mistress, to a doctor's appointment. Their conversation makes my stomach turn. "Thanks for taking me on a drive today," Miriam coos, her hand resting possessively on Lucas's arm. "The food was delicious too." Lucas pretends like a peacock. "You're so good at saying thank you." "What a good girl." "I want to marry you soon," she pouts, crossing her arms over her swollen belly. "Then hurry up and divorce that old hag already." "I want you to be my husband before the baby comes." "Just wait a little longer," Lucas reassures her. "I'll handle everything while she's on her overseas business trip. Then we'll be together, me, you, and the baby. We'll live comfortably with the money from selling the house and car." I close the laptop, my hand steady now. Opening my phone's gallery, I scroll through months of accumulated evidence, screenshots of Lucas's private messages with Miriam, bank statements showing his suspicious transactions, and most damning of all, photos of Miriam with other men, entering hotels, holding hands, even attending prenatal checkups with someone who isn't Lucas. My phone buzzes with a text from my sister, "Done. The house is secured, and the car has wheel locks. He won't be able to touch either. Are you okay?" "Perfect," I reply, adding a heart emoji. Time for phase 2. I open my work laptop and begin crafting an email to my company's PR team, requesting an emergency meeting upon my return. As one of the firm's top performers, I've built up considerable goodwill. They'll understand when I explain that my personal life is about to become very public, very fast. Next, I draft a social media post that will shatter Lucas's carefully constructed online persona. His 3 million followers think they know him as Jay, the sweet, single gaming streamer with a smooth voice and clumsy charm. They have no idea their idol is a married man who mooched off his wife for years before cheating on her with a fan. My finger hovers over the post button, but I'm not quite ready. Timing is everything in business, and revenge. I walk to the window, pressing my forehead against the cool glass. Far below, Tokyo's early morning traffic flows like a river of lights. In 12 hours, I'll board my flight home. In 14 hours, I'll land. And in 15 hours, I'll destroy everything Lucas holds dear. My phone buzzes again, Lucas calling back, probably ready to gloat some more or make demands. I decline the call and block his number. Then I order a bottle of champagne from room service. After all, it's not every day you celebrate the end of a marriage and the beginning of your revenge. The sun starts to rise over Tokyo, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. I raise my champagne glass to my reflection in the window, noting with satisfaction that my eyes are completely dry. To new beginnings, I whisper and take a sip. The next 12 hours pass in a blur of business meetings and preparations. My PR team is understanding, even supportive when I explain the situation. "We've got your back, Jenna," my director says. "Just keep us in the loop." By the time I board my flight home, #StreamerJ is already trending on social media, though Lucas doesn't know why yet. I recline in my business class seat, scrolling through the chaos unfolding on my phone. The initial post was simple enough, just a few choice clips from my dash cam footage showing Lucas and Miriam together, with a caption, "Ever wonder what your favorite streamer does in his free time? Meet Jay's pregnant girlfriend. Too bad he's already married to me." The reaction is explosive. Lucas's loyal female fans, who thought they had a chance with their sweet, single streamer, are turning on him en masse. His male followers, who admired his supposed integrity, are jumping ship. The comments are a symphony of betrayal. "I donated half my paycheck to him last month because he said he was struggling. He lived with me in DMs last week. I feel sick. All those stories about living alone and being lonely, what a fraud. My phone vibrates with a barrage of calls from Lucas, now coming from different numbers since I blocked his main one. I decline each one, imagining his rising panic as his carefully constructed world crumbles. Instead, I open the private investigator's final report. The photos of Miriam with other men are particularly damning. She's been playing the same game as Lucas, cultivating multiple relationships with popular streamers and their wealthy followers. The prenatal appointment photos show her with at least 3 different men, each presumably believing they're the father. It would almost be impressive if it weren't so coldly calculated. A flight attendant offers me champagne, and I accept with a smile. Celebrating something special? She asks. You could say that, I reply, watching my inbox fill with interview requests from gaming news sites and drama channels. I'm taking out the trash. By the time we land, Lucas's follower count has dropped by 1 million. His sponsorship deals are being pulled, his streaming platform has suspended his account pending investigation, and his moderators have quit en masse. But the real show is about to begin. As I walk through the airport terminal, pulling my carry-on, I spot him immediately. Lucas is pacing near the arrival gate, his designer clothes wrinkled, his usually perfectly styled hair a mess. Dark circles ring his eyes, he hasn't slept since our call. Good. When he sees me, he starts running toward me, causing several travelers to stop and stare. His face is contorted with a mixture of rage and desperation. Jenna. What have you done? I stop walking and check my phone, making sure the live stream is running smoothly. Over 2 million people are already watching, eager to see the confrontation between the disgraced streamer and his wronged wife. The camera in my designer brooch, courtesy of my private investigator, captures everything perfectly. What do you mean? I ask innocently, loud enough for the growing crowd of onlookers to hear. Some already have their phones out, recognizing Lucas from the trending drama. My career is ruined, he shouts, his smooth streamer voice completely gone. My followers, my sponsors, everything. How could you do this to me? I tilt my head, maintaining my calm demeanor. I'm confused, Lucas. Didn't you call me yesterday to say you wanted a divorce? That you had a pregnant girlfriend and had already sold my house and car? His face pales as he realizes we have an audience. Someone in the crowd gasps. Phones are recording now. That's private business between us, he stammers, trying to lower his voice. You had no right to. No right? I cut him off, my voice crystal clear. Like you had no right to sell property that isn't in your name? Or to use my car to drive your mistress to her appointments? Speaking of appointments. I pull out my phone, making sure the screen faces the gathered crowd. Would you like to see some interesting photos of Miriam with other men? Lucas lunges for my phone, but I step back smoothly. His wild grab causes him to stumble, and several bystanders move protectively toward me. The contrast is perfect, the unhinged, desperate man versus the composed, professional woman. You're lying, he shouts from the floor. Miriam loves me. We're having a baby. Are you sure about that? I ask softly, watching his face crumple as I show him the photos one by one. Because it seems like you might not be the only potential father in the picture. Literally. Lucas's breakdown is spectacular. He curls into a fetal position right there on the airport floor, sobbing and screaming about betrayal. The irony appears lost on him. My reputation, my life, it's all ruined, he wails. I step around him, my heels clicking on the polished floor. No, Lucas. You ruined it yourself. I just made sure everyone could see who you are. As security approaches to handle the situation, I turn to leave, then pause. Oh, and Lucas? Don't bother going home. The locks have been changed, and the car has been immobilized. You can contact my lawyer about the divorce proceedings. The crowd parts to let me through, some people even applauding. My phone shows that the live stream has reached 5 million viewers. Comments are flooding in faster than I can read them, all supporting me, all condemning Lucas. But it's not the public vindication that makes me smile as I step into a taxi. It's the knowledge that Lucas is experiencing what I felt during those years of marriage, the slow, crushing realization that the person you trusted has been deceiving you all along. 3 days after the airport incident, my lawyer's office felt almost too peaceful for what was about to happen. I sit across from Lucas and Miriam, both looking diminished in the harsh fluorescent light. Gone are his designer clothes and her carefully curated innocent look. They won't meet each other's eyes. Before we begin the divorce proceedings, my lawyer says, sliding a folder across the polished conference table, my client would like to address the matter of compensation. Lucas scoffs, some of his streamer bravado returning. Compensation? I've lost everything because of her. My followers, my sponsors. Your marriage? I interrupt softly. Your child? Miriam flinches. The paternity test results arrived this morning, courtesy of her actual baby's father, another streamer who's already gone public with his side of the story. Lucas still doesn't know. Let's discuss the financial damage you've caused my client, my lawyer continues. Unauthorized use of her vehicle, attempted sale of property not in your name, emotional distress. I don't have anything left. Lucas slams his fist on the table. My accounts are frozen, and my platform terminated my contract. I'm sleeping on my friend's couch. I lean forward, maintaining eye contact. But you do have something, Lucas. Your savings from all those donations and subscriptions? The ones you hid in separate accounts, thinking I wouldn't find them? The color drains from his face. My private investigator was thorough. We have records of every transaction, every hidden account. You always said I was too focused on work, I continue, my voice steady. But all those late nights at the office? I wasn't just closing international deals. I was following the money. Your money. Miriam suddenly stands, her chair scraping against the floor. I can't do this anymore. Her hands shake as she pulls out her phone. Lucas, I'm sorry, but the baby isn't yours. The silence that follows is deafening. Lucas stares at her, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Then he laughs, a hollow, broken sound that echoes off the office walls. Not mine? His voice rises with each word. I gave up everything for you. My marriage, my reputation. Your dignity? I suggest. Your integrity? He whirls on me, eyes wild. You think you've won? You've ruined me. I'll never recover from this. I stand slowly, smoothing my suit jacket. No, Lucas. You ruined yourself. I just made sure you couldn't ruin anyone else. Miriam sobbing now, mascara running down her face. I never meant, it wasn't supposed to. To what? I ask, genuinely curious. To get caught? To face consequences? My lawyer clears his throat. If we could return to the matter at hand. Mr. Chen, you have two options. You can sign these papers agreeing to the compensation terms, or we can take this to court. Given the evidence we have, including your documented attempts to sell a property you don't own, I suggest you sign. Lucas slumps in his chair, defeated. How much? Everything in your hidden accounts, plus monthly payments until the debt is cleared. I slide a pen toward him. Consider yourself lucky, I'm not pressing criminal charges. As he signs with trembling hands, I feel no triumph, no joy. Just a profound sense of closure. The man I married never really existed, he was a character, a performance crafted to take advantage of my success and stability. Was any of it real? I ask quietly. Or was I just a convenient ATM from the start? Lucas looks up, and for a moment, I see a flicker of the charm that once drew me in. Does it matter anymore? No, I reply, gathering my things. I suppose it doesn't. As I leave the office, my phone buzzes with a message from my sister. It's done? How do you feel? I pause in the hallway, considering. The anger that's fueled me these past months is gone, replaced by something lighter and cleaner. Looking out the window at the city skyline, I realize I'm smiling. Free, I text back. I feel free. 6 months later, I stand in my new high-rise apartment, watching the sunset paint the city gold. The place is smaller than my old condo, but it's mine alone, no memories to haunt the corners, no traces of betrayal in the walls. The moving company just delivered the last of my furniture, and my sister helped me arrange everything just how I wanted it. My phone buzzes with a news alert: disgraced streamer Jay attempts comeback, platform permanently bans account. I scroll through the article without emotion. Lucas tried streaming under a new name, but his past caught up with him within hours. The comments under the article are ruthless: once a cheater, always a cheater, and remember what he did to his wife? I close the article and open my gallery instead, smiling at the latest edition, a photo of a tiny gray kitten with golden eyes. The shelter sent it this morning, confirming she's ready for adoption tomorrow. I've already bought everything she needs: a plush bed, toys, premium food. My first real pet, something I never could have had with Lucas constantly demanding attention. You're not going to watch his apology video? My sister asks over video chat later that evening. It's trending. No need, I reply, uncorking a bottle of wine. I'm done looking backward. She grins. Says the woman who orchestrated the most elegant takedown I've ever seen. You know you're a legend in certain corners of the internet, right? The streamer's wife's revenge has its own Wikipedia page. I laugh, settling onto my new couch. Trust me, that wasn't about becoming famous. It was about justice. And the fact that his new girlfriend turned out to be scamming multiple streamers at once? Karma has a sense of humor, I say, sipping my wine. I heard Miriam moved back home to her parents. They're helping her raise the baby. I hope they both find peace. My sister's expression softens. Look at you, all enlightened and forgiving. But tell me honestly, do you regret any of it? I consider the question, watching the city lights flicker on as dusk deepens into night. I regret not seeing the red flag sooner. I regret letting him dim my light for so long. But exposing the truth? Never. And what about love? Dating? There's this guy at my office. Not yet, I cut her off gently. Right now, I'm focusing on myself. My career is soaring, the company just promoted me to International Operations Director. Tomorrow, I'm adopting my first cat. Next month, I'm taking that cooking class I always wanted to try. I'm rediscovering who I am without someone else's drama overshadowing me. Sounds perfect, my sister says. But don't forget, you were never the shadow, Jenna. You were always the light. After we hang up, I walk out onto my balcony, letting the cool evening air wash over me. Below, the city pulses with life and possibility. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new adventures, and new joy. But for now, I savor this moment of perfect contentment, knowing that sometimes the happiest endings aren't about finding new love, but about finding yourself again. My phone lights up with one final message from my sister: you should write a book about all this. I smile, typing back, maybe someday. But right now, I'm too busy writing my next chapter. If this story resonated with you, please take a moment to share it with someone who might need to hear its message. Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is walk away, and the bravest thing we can be is ourselves. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join our community of storytellers and truth seekers. Every week, we bring you powerful stories of transformation, redemption, and the courage to start over. Your support helps us reach more people who need to know they're not alone in their struggles. Want to hear more stories like Jenna's? Leave a comment below sharing your own experience with starting over. Remember, your story matters too, and there's always someone out there who needs to hear it.